What is probably one of the number one secret hacks to ranking your video organically?
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what I'm trying to separate the two, because if you're just a videographer, right, then it is just your time, right? But if you have a video production business, then it does need a profit to be able to sustain things, you know, because there is overhead like stock footage and, you know, all the subscriptions. Oh my God, guys, there's so many subscriptions.
That's with anything nowadays.
Yeah,
it's
with
just
anything.
Horrible. You spend like $200-$300 a month on just the littlest things. It's like, like, oh, you know, you need this HubSpot, you got this CRM, you got this to do that. You got, it's like, geez, man.
But yeah, if you just assume that the profit that you make is going to take care of you, like I did, you know, it definitely set me back a little bit. So
yeah, well, I think what happens with that is, one, you can't grow your business because the profit's going to your pockets. So it's not profit, it's technically payroll. So then the second thing is if you're taking that out of your bank account, now listen closely, you get charged self-employment tax, which is a lot more than payroll tax. And that's something I learned my first year of business.
That's a hard lesson.
That is a super hard lesson when the IRS comes knocking looking for more than you ever had. So I think that's something super important to say, because it does go unnoticed, and a lot of businesses will run like that for years on end. Because then technically you just have a job. You don't really run a business.
Right.
For sure.
Yeah.
The ultimate goal, I think, in business is to create freedom, like freedom of time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think my goal is really to get the business to a place where I do have the freedom to create freely.
For sure.
Sure.
Right.
When you want to and when you don't.
Yeah, because that's really the thing that drives me, is being the creative. Like I said, I've always been a creative first, whether it was music or visuals, pictures, videos, whatever. We're working on a claymation thing right now. So
that's cool.
In a couple of days, I'm going to go, never done it before, but we're going to go build some clay characters and animate them. So like, that's always the thing that I want to be doing. So just having the freedom to create without limits when I want to, as I want to.
That brings a question to mind. Is that a job that you're doing, the claymation?
No.
Oh, okay. Because what I was going to ask is, like, what I found custom work was always less beneficial, even though it seemed like a higher price tag, but it seemed like that time and that learning curve to do a custom job or something you haven't done before really kind of seemed to bite me in my ass.
That's interesting.
Like, because I couldn't take the time to learn it and create it and do what I needed to, and then also try and account for profitability on that. It was just a nightmare. So
Yeah. That's interesting, because again, with me being shiny new object syndrome, right? It's like, I always, like, if someone comes to me with something I've never done before, like, I want to try it. You know what I mean? Like, I want to figure it out. But that's a really good point, because I've dealt with the same thing. It's like, oh, we've never done this kind of content before, but we're going to figure it out. And then I spend hours upon hours
just trying to figure it out.
Just trying to figure it out, right? And again, you lose all of your profitability doing that.
Yeah, unless you have somebody that's like, here, open check, whatever it takes.
Yeah.
Okay.
True.
We just had that with a move that we're doing to Spain, and it was huge regret.
Yeah. You just posted about it 2 days ago.
It sounded so cool.
It sounds really cool.
We're going to do it. We're going to lose money, but it'll be a learning lesson for potentially moving forward and doing it profitable in the future.
Well, it's a good marker too. It's a good resume. Like, you know, like all the pictures I showed at my presentation all the weekend, I don't think any one of them was profitable, but they all look really awesome and could be magazine worthy. But I was like, if anybody knew like the money I lost on all these, it would just be a joke, you know?
Yeah.
One thing that I've learned too is that I've been journaling a lot recently, and what really got me there is like, okay, I've been making a lot of the same mistakes, you know? So if I want to stop making these mistakes, stop taking on these projects where I'm losing money, you know what I mean? All that kind of stuff. Or like sales calls that I just completely fumbled the bag, you know what I mean? Like I still do that. But instead of like the old me, I would have just beat myself up about it and then try and do whatever to forget about it and move on. But now, instead of beating myself up about it, viewing it as a learning opportunity, writing it with pen and paper. Okay, here's what I did good. Here's what I did wrong. Here's what I need to do differently next time. And then moving it from the paper into a document that I have in Google Drive, like with the coaching stuff, like have documents going to develop the sales process and an SOP and all that stuff. So getting my thoughts out, pen to paper, and then moving that into the larger document has really helped me internalize things and make sure I don't make those same mistakes over and over again.
Awesome. Yeah, I like that.
I think journaling's huge.
I'm a pretty big proponent of it, but I don't do it. And I used to, and now I don't, and I think I regret it just because it's like, well, it used to be like anything else. It's like if you actually thought about it, took the time to write it down, now you really thought about it, now you actually can kind of, grasp it, compile it, and then if you're putting somewhere else, that's what I used to do, is like handwrite notes and then enter them in the computer.
Yes.
And I would really
helps you internalize it.
But then now I just like don't do any of it.
Yeah.
Well, and
it's definitely an ebb and flow. Like I started journaling like a couple of years ago, and it's like I literally opened up when I started journaling again a couple of weeks ago. I opened up my journal, and my last entry was from like a year ago, and I was like, "Oh shit!" Well, so yeah, it's everybody has their own process.
Yeah.
But I will say that when I was journaling previously, it was just kind of like thought dumping. Here's how I felt about today. Having it more systemized, where it's like, okay, here's everything I did today. Let me take a moment to reflect on this. What did I do well? What did I have areas of improvement on? Really, again, reflecting on how I can improve, but being kind to myself in the process is huge.
Yeah. I think you forget your worth sometimes, especially as a business owner.
Kind of. I feel like for me, like I said, I grew up in the metal scene, and
which is awesome.
It's awesome. I love the music, but at the same time, it attracts a lot of negative energy. Right? Like it's what led me to the metal scene. It's what led a lot of people to getting involved in that world of music. Is just, it's a release for your negative energy. But spending so much time in that world, you think of things negatively. Like it really affects your mindset. Like when something happens to you, your immediate reaction can be negative. And it's not just because of that, it's my own internal problems, but kind of being around a lot of negative energy is what I'm saying. Like you think negatively and you react to things negatively. So trying to get myself out of that.
Better headspace, trying to surround myself with better people that allow me to, think of things in a positive way and be kind to myself in situations where, like I said previously, I would have torn myself down and just tried to move on and bury that pain that I'm inflicting on myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Just brings clarity.
Yeah. Yeah. So
how hard is it sometimes being able to get the consumer to see your vision and be willing to jump on board? Like, I'm sure you get people that they have a certain vision and you just know it's not the right vision for them. How do you like coerce them into
it's tough. You got to know people. You have to understand how people work, because everybody's different. You know what I mean? Like some people you can just be like very businesslike about it, and some people you have to be a little bit more emotional about it. That's just where kind of being a good salesman comes into play.
For sure.
And you don't want to lead with that either, right? It's, you have to definitely build trust with your client before you can come in and challenge their ideas.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. A lot of people take it as an ego check, and we'll take it aggressively. I've seen that a lot.
But it's all about how you present it.
Sure.
You know what I mean? You want to make sure, like there's some people that I'll turn down projects because I don't think they're a good fit for me.
I think that's important to protect your reputation, right?
Sure.
Yeah, totally. Like I stopped doing events for the most part, just because, in the social media side of things, where I want to educate, I want to entertain, I want to bring value to the audience. If we're just doing an event and we turn that into a piece of content, like what kind of value does that bring?
Sure.
Yeah. Now, if it's something that you need to do, right? Like you need to show people that this event is happening to promote future events and stuff like that. So if it's like a client of mine that we're already doing the stuff that we need to do, I'll do that. But if someone hits me up and they're just like, hey, will you come out and film, whatever for this event and make a reel out of it? No.
Yeah. Fuck off.
Yeah.
Well, not fuck off, but
well, you could say
fuck off nicely.
Yeah.
With a smile.
Yes.
That'll be a good sticker. Fuck off with a smile. I'm gonna put that on some of my business cards, I think.
Nice.
So let's jump into the hot seat questions.
geez.
Yeah. You feel it? You feel the pressure? So let's start with what's one of your least favorite things to shoot? Like, what do you normally turn down? What's a client that you would normally just say, hey, it's not really what I do?
Weddings.
Weddings?
Weddings.
I feel like that would get really old.
Because of Bridezilla or what?
That's what Brian
Bridezilla's.
said, right? That's what Brian said, right? Bridezilla's.
It's kind of a personal thing. We don't have to jump too deep into it, but just the whole like charade of the day is not very. I don't vibe with it.
I got you.
Cool. I'm right there with you.
You know,
I'm like stepping around the whole marriage thing right now.
sorry to put you on blast, bro.
I don't care. She probably won't watch this. So, okay. So, next I'd ask in Greenville so far, what's your worst experience with a client so far?
Oh wow. Damn, put you on the hot seat.
That is a hot seat.
You don't
It's a
have
little
to
less
name.
cold. All of
You
a
don't have
sudden.
to name names. We
Yeah.
won't tag them.
Just say their business name.
Their phone number
Yeah,
and
yeah.
address is no. So this was partially my fault.
Yeah.
So there was a project. I won't even say what the type of project was, but I went into it and I was like, "Hey, thank you for reaching out. Just so you know, I've never done anything like this, right? So there's probably standard procedures for things like this in your industry, and I'm probably not going to make you a video that's like that. I'm going to make you something that's different. It's bold. It's going to stand out, and it's going to be undeniably you, but it's not going to be just like everybody else's,
Yeah.
And what they're thinking.
what they're thinking, right? And my client was like, "Oh yeah, that sounds awesome. Great. I love it. I trust you." And I was like, "Cool." So we do the video and she's got all this feedback and I'm like, "Okay, revisions are normal. So it's like, okay, we do some revisions, do exactly the revisions that they wanted. And it's like, oh, we got more revisions now. And then all of a sudden it just devolves into this very standardized thing. And it's like, this is not cool. They ended up scrapping the project with me because I wasn't trying to do the standardized thing. I let them know up front, but
That wasn't your taste. Yeah.
Yeah.
wasn't my taste.
Well, I'm sure that's got to be tough in the creative world because, you want to kind of stick to your vision and what you like to produce. But if somebody doesn't want to do that, then you kind of just got to send them down the road to the next guy.
That's it. But that was tough. It was very much a learning experience.
What's how many too many revisions? When does it get to that point?
So what we do is, again, revisions are expected. Any project that we do, a round of revisions is included in the price. We're not going to charge you for that. After that, we will charge you for revisions.
I like that.
And we let you know up front. We'll also remind you when you ask for revisions, like, hey, is this everything? Because we're going to do exactly what you're asking us to revise. If there's anything else after this, we're going to
You'll
charge
be
you for it.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
I like it.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
What was your favorite project you've worked in Greenville?
favorite project I've worked on in Greenville.
Yes.
Nice. Does it have to be for the business?
We don't have to be
No.
business. No.
Okay, cool. Because I do a lot of creative stuff. My buddy Jack is a writer and director, and actually, right here in the studio, we produced a short film. It was a ton of fun. My boy Jason worked on it with us as well. So, yeah, I don't want to say too much.
Oh, it's not out?
It's not out yet.
Oh, cool,
No,
cool.
it's in editing right now. But it's very cool, kind of psychological music industry powers that be at work kind of film. You know what I
Sweet.
mean?
Sweet.
I'm really excited about it, and it was a lot of fun. We had a crew of like 10 people, and the collaboration was amazing. Like we were talking about earlier, it's like people have ideas, and when everybody's working together and they see the vision, and they have different thoughts about how to do this or that to achieve that vision, and everybody's open to it and very collaborative on set. It just makes it a ton of fun, and it makes the end product better. So
Sure.
that was great.
Nice. Where do you see Crosshair production in the next 3 years?
The next thing that I want to get into, like we're organic social, we're good at that.
Mm-hmm.
Website content, we're good at that. I'd really like to get into retargeting campaigns
Okay.
where, we can run like an anchor ad, and then do retargeting ads based on actions people have taken on your website and stuff like that. So I'd really like to get into that and just kind of go more full scope into marketing. I don't want to handle everything.
Yeah.
Right. Like I don't want to do your branding and stuff like that. I just want to have resources. So like if we do a ad campaign, for example, maybe we're not the ones that are actually building the funnel if you need a funnel built, but we have partners that do that. And I've built some relationships there. So before I go in and start offering people something at that level, I want to make sure that all my ducks are in a row. So I'm not there yet. But that's what I want to do, kind of more full scope, providing, that's my main thing, is that a lot of video production, it's just like, oh, you want this video? Great. We'll make the video for you and then give it to you and do whatever with it. Right. I really feel the obligation to be more of a partner in the process to help businesses achieve their goals through video. And I just want to do that at a higher level.
Like where they post it, how they post it,
exactly,
like stuff like that.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I like that idea.
Yeah, because it doesn't make sense to me for you to invest X number of dollars into a video and then I think just post it and don't get the results that you want.
Well, and if I didn't get the results, I would kind of turn towards you, I would assume. Like I've seen that before. I'd probably be like, hey man, the video sucked. I only got two likes out of it.
Right.
It's like,
yeah.
So if you're making sure that it does go the distance, that's just better.
Exactly. So yeah.
Cool.
That's my goal.
What is probably one of the number one secret hacks to ranking your video organically?
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. We'll end with that.
Oh man. Can I give you a don't do? Okay. The biggest don't do ever for social media videos is coming on the video and it starts like, what's up guys? I'm Michael Leach with Crosshair Video Productions. Blase, 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 blah. Right?
Yeah.
You just lost everybody.
Shit, I just made a video like that.
Skip.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure
right past
a video like that on Friday too.
I'm telling you, everybody does it. Everybody does it. But yeah, just like I was talking about earlier, like when we're selling a house, leading with the thing that's interesting about the house. Do something to capture the viewer's attention
right away.
First.
Yeah. Right away, whatever that thing is.
Would you say that for like just short videos or for even long scope videos and stuff?
Everything.
Too? Really?
Everything.
Okay.
It's not just videos. I've applied this principle in everything. Networking, I mean, even how I write music, I've applied this to. Like I entered into a riff competition. I didn't win, but I was like, okay, how do I have this riff start with a hook? Right. And then I hook it in and then I can kind of get into the meat of it. Right. So it really transcends just social media videos, but I learned it there.
Like skip the intro.
Skip the intro. Just get straight to it. Like
if they want the intro, they can click your name.
Right. Exactly. Like to me, like social media videos are about reaching new audiences and building community. So if you're building community, they already know who you are. If you're reaching a new audience, they don't care who you are. You have to win over the right to bring them into your community, right? So again, and on top of that, like your name is right there under the video and there's a follow button. So if you hook them in and you bring value to them and they take something away from it, they'll follow you. They'll like the video.
Sure.
So.
Yeah, I never really thought about that. I don't wear name tags for that reason. I like people to ask me for my name.
Yeah.
Do you realize we intro ourselves every episode?
Yeah. Well, I just made a video on Friday.
Change that up now.
And I was like,
know our names.
Yeah, my first thing was like, hi, I'm Ray Mack with the Damien Algram. Now I'm like, well, shit, I probably should have done that.
Well, probably what I would do if I was you guys is just get like a spicy intro, like don't like save the best sound bites, but when you're asking spicy questions, like just do a quick like couple spicy questions that you guys ask, or maybe like a or just something spicy for the intro, and then you can go in and give your names, because podcasts are different. It's long form. You're assuming people,
and that's kind of how we do it. Usually he'll throw the clip in, and then it does the music, and then it comes into the intro. And the intro is mostly like, we probably shouldn't have to say our name every time, but it mostly is to introduce the guest, I would assume. But yeah, that's good, man, because now I'm like racking my brain about all these videos that I'm like making.
Yeah,
Gotta
but
think of something else now.
it forces you, like when you
Forces you to
take
get
some
creative.
exactly
Yeah, yeah.
when you take something away like that. I also like creating like within parameters. You know what I mean? Because it forces me to think outside of what I already know. Just the whole creative process, whatever it is, I just like whatever medium it's in. I just love it so much.
Oh, yeah.
And I love applying it to things where you wouldn't normally think to apply it to.
Yeah, sure. Well, we appreciate it, and we appreciate you coming on. Where can everybody find you? Like, what's your website and stuff?
www.crosshair.video. That's my website. Social media for me, Leachface, Lech face on Instagram, lechface.mp3 if you're into heavy metal.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, Crosshair videos, you can find us.
Sweet. Thanks for coming on, man.
Coming on, brother.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Appreciate it. Yeah.